Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you by Export Ultra, the beer for year. This is the Agenda podcast for Thursday, the 11th of July.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Good morning, late. It's coming home.
It's not coming home. It's not coming home. England farted through to the final, but Spain, they're going to do them.
I think they might do. We went down to Norma Taps this morning. They were showing the Europes this morning. We got down there for the second half. It was 1-1, tied in the first half. And I've had a bit of success getting on the penalties.
Yes.
A team to win in the penalties. But right on the 90th minute, Ollie Watkins, how's that for a bit of football knowledge, eh?
Yeah.
He scored off what you would call in the basketball world a post-up. And it was by the thinnest of margins. He kicked it just between his defender's legs and then just on the outside of the goalie's extended mitt there. And they were done in basically by the timing of that goal, it seemed. Because you couldn't really split either of those teams, could you?
No, the first half was a lot different from the second for some reason. But I suppose at half-time, the Dutch completely changed their game plan.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it looked like from a person who knows nothing about football, from being a very expansive game to being a very defensive game.
Yeah, well, and the commentators were even saying, like, neither team wants to lose this. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
So they'll be happy to not win it in regular time. What they don't want to do is lose it. And they only needed one shot, and they took it, and they got it. And so England's through.
2-1.
And you were right. I didn't really realise, I was like, shit, the Europes are big this year. But what it actually is everyone's on England, and England's having a good run. Because no one was in the Dutch except for Big Show Bonnie Jansen, who's one of the New Zealand Herald sports reporters. She's been on this podcast before.
Yeah.
She was in her Dutch top. Chucked their jersey on with about 2 minutes left to go. But yeah, that place was absolutely rocking. It was funny watching people having to sort of file off one by one and go to work. They looked so gutted, some of them.
Surely that's an excuse, but Monday morning's going to be even worse.
Yes.
Do we know when kickoff? Is it a 7 a.m.er again?
I would presume so.
I'd hope so, because sometimes it can be a 4 a.m.er, and that'd bite us.
They've all been 7 a.m.ers so far.
Okay.
So I think as long as the schedule's clear. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one on Monday morning. It's a tough start to the week.
I can remember the last one, actually, because I can remember us getting hellishly early to the pub. We'd booked the tables, myself, Joe Jury, Matt Heath, and I took my son along, Ralph, and we went, and it was like a 45-minute delay, because remember all the people were rushing the gates, and that's the documentary.
Oh, yes.
The attack on Wembley. And I had a bit of blowback, because I think it might have been Frankie, the even younger one, that I took to the pub as well, and we watched it. And then later in the week, he was at school and he had to write down his favourite thing he's done in the last week, and he said, go to the pub with Dad on Sunday morning and watch football. And he presented it to the class, and there's a picture of him, me, and a screen at a pub. I think you might have mentioned having breakfast there as well. There's no context. There's no context either around it was for a sports event.
Yeah.
And I got a message from one of the teacher assistants who was a parent saying highlight of the day was seeing Frankie write favourite part of the week was being at the pub with his dad for breakfast.
What would be the highlight of your week? I tell you what, it's the highlight of your week as an adult.
That's right. So yeah, Monday morning.
Yeah.
You better find a place to watch it. We'll be back down Norma Taps on Monday morning, but I'm sure there'll be places open all around the country playing it. But, get into it. There'll be English fans will come from everywhere. You watch them. There will be people who haven't even watched football before but are expats.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they'll turn into geezers and they will be down there.
Yeah. There were people like at this bar that were at Norma Taps this morning. There were people that looked like they were like cosplaying as England fans. You know, they had a brown leather jacket with the swept back hair and then the red jersey. And
I'll try and find a picture of the one supporter. When they won, they were panning the crowd, and there was one guy, he had those glasses on that have got the St. George cross on them, so you can still see, and he was gurning so hard. He was like, his jaws going,
Was that this morning?
Yes. Did you see that guy?
No, I was in that room.
Oh, no, but it was on TV when they panned around, and he was in the crowd and he was holding up a flag, and just like his jaw was coming off his face.
Just swinging for king and country. God bless him. But yeah, it was good to just get down there and a bit of vibe going on. We missed that here in New Zealand. I was actually saying to Joe on the way back from Norma Taps, I was saying, there's been, for as much as we slag off New Zealand for having no vibe and always shutting things down, That's twice now this week I've been somewhere where it's been outrageous, like the Kensington that we were just at on the weekend.
That was loose.
I've been saying to people all week, these things often look quite big on social media. This was way looser than what it looked like. And we do it again this weekend.
The Postman's League. Oh, it's up to the North Shore to stand up.
Yeah, that's right.
Dunedin have set the standard, and it's up to the North Shore to bandy together, head to the Postman's League and smash it a new one.
I don't think you're going to top Dunedin.
Oh, there's a challenge.
There is a challenge. The gauntlet has been thrown down.
We don't have Richie Mwanga driving the bus, unfortunately.
No.
But you've got your P class, haven't you?
Forklift license.
Yeah, that'll do.
So I'll be taking a forklift with as many people as we can fit on it.
You can put a crate of about 10 people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine
a couple of people on the back.
Oh, all I've got on my mind is Morningside for Life with the dad who came home.
Pepelo.
He came home.
Take his bloody useless sick kids to the pub on a forklift. So if you want to be bro-towns down to the grounds across the harbour bridge.
Oh, fuck, I'd pay to see that. I'd pay a lot of money to be on the Export Express and overtake you on a forklift with like an apple crate on the front with like a whole lot of All Black supporters in it.
Yeah, here comes old people with the forklift. So bring your bloody useless sick kids down to the thing and I'll drive them across the bridge, the harbour bridge. Shit. All right, the shot clock debate rages on as well. We're talking about going to the rugby. We actually in the office this morning had a bit of a debate as to how exactly the shot clock works, because we're like, is it 30 seconds? Is it 60? Is it 90 seconds? How does this work? So I've done a bit of a...
Yeah, when does it start? Does it start on the penalty? When does it start on the try?
So the official wording is, the kick must be taken within 60 seconds playing time from the time the team indicates their intention. This is for a penalty. Even if the ball rolls over and has to be placed again. The sanction is the kick will be disallowed and a scrum is awarded. That's how the law is worded. This is for a penalty. So from the moment the captain says kick,
have a shot,
60 seconds starts. Now it says playing time, so I presume that if the referee wants to, he can stop that clock.
What if you fart around for ages?
Yeah,
like the hyena, Damien McKenzie gets the tee,
and
then dog roll go for.
We'll have a kick.
Yeah, there's going to be got to be gamesmanship there, isn't there?
Well, surely receiving the tee is an indication of your intention to kick.
Or is that a tap and go trick? I don't know. I've seen it before. I've seen where they pretend like they're going to go for goal and then someone just taps and passes it to the winger and they score. Well,
I don't know if you ever played Rugby 05, 07 or 08 on PlayStation or Xbox, but when you went for the penalty conversion, the opposite team would automatically go like 50 metres back.
So you tap and go.
Well, you just kick it 2 metres in front of yourself and you're away. Or you could kick it over to the wing. Or you could run one of your players way offside, and if they caught it, you'd get your own line out from up there. It was many different ways.
And a try?
Don't know about the try, but my understanding was it was 90 seconds from when the try was scored.
Okay,
but I could be wrong on that. But this is the thing: this is the most rugby shit ever. We, the fans, don't know how it works.
Also, I've seen something in the under-20s. I saw the French do something quite interesting. You can now take a mark from the kickoff. So you can mark it in the 22. And so this kid marked it.
Why?
And then he tapped it, and then he dropped to his knees before he left the 22, took the tackle. They formed the ruck at the edge of the 22, went deep, and in the first five, the halfback box kicked it back over halfway.
Why? Why not just kick it straight back?
No, I don't know. It gives them, I suppose it settles that you got a ruck at very edge of the 22, which allows the first five or the halfback to then box kick even further down the field in safety.
Why are you allowed to mark it?
Well, I think it's a new rule.
No, but in general, why? What's the point of the mark?
I don't know. Otherwise, people just hoof it downfield, I guess, and just put the up and unders the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, I did enjoy at the last Rugby World Cup when South Africa were taking marks and then calling scrums.
Yeah.
The refs were like, what? Oh, yeah, you can do that, actually.
Yeah, that's allowed. That's been disallowed now.
Oh, you can't do that anymore.
Nah. But you can now take a mark in the kick from the kickoff.
Jeez, I can't keep up. Anyway, I believe that we have issued a press release, Lane, around the shot clock.
Yes.
Use the shot clock.
Yeah, well, we have our own shot clock within the ACC studio, and that mainly revolves around taking shots.
Right.
And look, it's been so loose for so many years. And with the instigation of the visual shot clock now with Sky, are going to put it on screen, I think it's about time that we did the same for our audience, both on radio and on TV. So a press release is going out today for immediate release, so we'll give it to you here first. And that is the ACC to launch a shot clock technology. The Alternative Commentary Collective is to introduce a formal in-game shot clock for the first time this weekend's All Blacks versus England game. Due to inconsistent timings around when shots were taken on commentary at the ACC Export Beer Garden studio, a new, more formal approach has been adopted by the commentary team. For the first time in the ACC's 10-year history, a shot clock will be placed on screen for Sky Sport viewers and a special audio cue for those on Radio Hauraki and iHeartradio to signal when a shot should be taken. So, I mentioned here, this just makes common sense because for far too long, shots have been taken too early, too late, and in some cases, not at all. And this will ensure there's consistency both in the commentary box and across the motu. The innovation of the shot clock technology will also allow ACC members to shorten and lengthen the shot clock depending on the state of the game itself.
Right.
So it's about being in sync with the game, really. And it allows you, when it's close, we can shorten the shot clock to allow the audience to calm their nerves with a shot.
Bit more urgency.
Yep, and vice versa. If the game is a blowout, we can then again shorten the clock. So it's really been about one with the audience and the state of the game.
Right, just tidying it up a little bit.
Absolutely. So the technology will be trialled for the remainder of the All Blacks games covered by the ACC this year and is expected to be adopted by the Mad Monday team and the Warriors and throughout summer with the Black Caps team. So there you go. The shot clock is going to be set this weekend, so get your shot glasses out. We know there's been some unruly shots taken, particularly by Lee Hart during cricket matches.
Yes.
So this is just a way of formalising that, so there's no confusion.
It also does away with time wasting.
Yes.
Because sometimes you'll put a shot in front of someone and then they'll pretend to start talking to someone beside them or whatever. You know that they're just dilly-dallying to avoid it. Yes,
Matt Heath gobbles the shot clock like no one gobbles a shot clock.
Yeah.
And he just looks at it and he goes, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah. And they go, "Oh, sorry, I'm just going to talk to this guy over here."
Yeah, and then he'll just leave it there, and it's just like, nah. When that buzzer goes, it's down your gullet.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we go. So that's going to be for the first time. We're going to make that formal this weekend again in the All Blacks match. So
watch out for that one on the 6 o'clock news. And we'll be releasing that press release as well if you want to familiarise yourself with the rules. So keep an eye on our socials. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back to announce David Nyika's next opponent. Yesterday at around lunchtime, Lane went across to Sky City Casino where they were announcing David Nyika's next opponent.
Terrible place for you to attend a press conference.
Got distracted.
I saw you finger blasting.
I got distracted. Big Red absolutely fleeced me over there at the casino. Big Red had it in for me. That was the name of the particular machine I found myself at.
You haven't had a good run.
On the pokies?
No.
I would challenge you to find me someone who has had a good run on the pokies.
I'm not a pokies man. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't get into the pokies.
Why not?
I don't know.
You seem to love throwing random bets against the wall on the TAB.
I feel like that's a longer game than just finger blasting.
Yeah. Well, I always say that I like to gamble on things that I'm watching. Like if I'm watching a game, then I'll put a bet on.
Yeah.
And when you're at the pokies, all you can do is watch. So it's responsible. Anyway, we went over there. I actually missed the press conference. I don't know. Apparently Cliff Curtis was there.
Oh.
Shout out to him. One of the greatest actors country's ever produced. Is he fighting someone? Why was he
I hope so. I hope he's on the undercard.
Why was he there? Yeah. Saw Wairangi Corporate there in the hallways. Anyway, we missed the thing. The announcement was he's fighting Blake Caparello, who is an Australian.
Oh, Cappy.
Who goes by the nickname the Kiwi Crusher. He's got about 6 or 7 different Kiwis that he's thumped throughout the years. He's 37 years old now. He's from Essendon, Victoria. His record is 34-1, I believe. There's around 15 KOs as well. Back in 2014, he fought Sergey Kovalev for the belt back then. His last fight I could find was in 2019. I think he's had a couple since then. But he's now been announced as David Nyika's opponent on September the 14th.
Terrible nickname, the Kiwi Crusher, because there is a medicine called Kiwi Crush, which is a laxative.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
I've been on the back end of a few Kiwi Crushers before.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a terrible nickname. He's named after a laxative.
Yeah, right.
Kiwi Killer would have been better.
Yeah. Yep. No, I can't think. 1080. It kills Kiwis, doesn't it?
The stoat.
The stoat. Into the red corner. The ferret.
That's a way better nickname because why is he called the stoat? Because he kills Kiwis.
Because he kills Kiwis. Yeah.
That would have been better because people had to ask.
Only in their infancy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, September 14th. He, like I said, he's 37. David Nyika is 28. The tail of the tape does not lean in his favour. David Nyika is about 6'6".
Nyika, and he's an absolute specimen. We need to breed him with some extreme athlete in New Zealand because he's a specimen.
He is.
He's dangerously good looking. He's got great chat. He's got a rockin' bod.
Yeah.
He can knock C's out.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, well, he'll be aiming to knock this guy out as well. So we're hoping to get David Nyika on the podcast at some point down the track.
Yep.
I feel like we should get like an impartial boxing commentator on as well to sort of set the stakes.
Yes.
Where are we? Who is this? I mean, obviously we don't know too much about this Blake Caporello gentleman. Where does he sit in the rankings? This is the beginning of David Nyika's road to the title. What does that road look like? How many fights do we think it would take to get him to the top?
Yeah.
And who would he have to bowl over? But yeah.
And just to be clear, he's in the cruiserweight division.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, and that is a couple below heavyweight.
That's a few below heavyweight, yeah. But the advantage for him is the lighter the weight, the shorter the dudes he's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
And at 6'6", he'll be hitting them from the other side of the ring. So it's a massive advantage for him. And he is, like you said, shredded, six-packed up. So
my God. And the green eyes, jeez.
Frightening individual. So, yes, September 14th, we'll try and get him on the podcast between now and then. If you are looking forward to the Mad Monday podcast today, well, you're going to be sorely disappointed. There won't be one, just because the Warriors aren't playing this weekend.
Why bother?
State of Origin's still over a week away.
Yep.
So it's like,
So take a knee, League fans.
Take a knee, League fans, but it does mean we do have a Mad Monday hunch that we need to spank, and
yes.
I'm gonna get way ahead of myself and go on State of Origin next week. Yeah. And I feel like it's hammer time. He has scored a try. He's about to set a record for the most consecutive tries scored in games played, I believe, if not just Origins. So anyway, he's paying $2.30. I think he's going to win. I actually think Queensland are going to win this.
Yeah, I do too. I don't. That game too seemed to just a little bit of an anomaly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
At the moment at the TAB, they're $1.80 favourites to $2 New South Wales, which I feel like that's good eating for Queensland.
Yeah.
But anyway, if they win, I think the hammer scores. So we're going hammer time, $2.30.
And they're playing in Sydney?
They are playing in Sydney.
Yeah, because I think the first game was in Brizzy, and then they had the weird away one in Melbourne.
The decider should be away. If they're going to do a neutral venue, it should be the third game.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that one.
Unless it's a dead rubber, and then it would suck.
A dead rubber in a neutral venue. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's their thinking. But anyway, I'm going the hammer time. So follow me in at your peril. It is Thursday, so we're going to bring back another fan favourite. It is Throwback Thursday. And today, we're going back to the last time that England played the All Blacks at Eden Park. This was back in 2014. The All Blacks haven't lost there in 30 years. That's 48 matches for those of you mathematicians out there. And in 2014, the All Blacks won at 20 points to 15. And the team list...
relative. That's quite close.
It is quite close. And I actually thought, when I first saw it, I was like, 2014, it's not that long ago. These teams will be more or less the same. Then you reminded me, that's fucking 10 years ago. So anyway, the teams read thusly. For the All Blacks at 15, Israel Dagg.
The old Izzy with the Recedo.
Yeah, I think pre-ID Israel Dagg. Ben Smith was on the wing. Ben Smooth. This is back in the days when you just had to have Ben Smith on the field. It didn't matter what position.
Anywhere.
Just get Ben Smith on the field. His twin brother Conrad was
the crackhead.
The crackhead. One of the least deserved nicknames. Based on appearance, sure. But based on lawyer, rugby player.
One of the smartest guys on the field. But he started rugby as a good-looking young man, and he finished it just
busted
with a face like a welder's bench. It was intense.
Yeah. By all accounts, a great guy, and of course his long-standing centres partner Ma'anonu still playing
over in the US.
I saw a photo of him and Matt Gitto lining up to play rugby. I was like, that is ridiculous.
Well, he went and played on the East Coast there for a while, didn't he, Ma'anonu?
Oh, he played a couple of he played a game, two games.
Did he play it for the documentary?
He may have. I don't know. There is a photo of him sitting on the back of a horse bareback. It is iconic. So it was well worth it. I think that was the only game they've won in a long time. Anyway, Corey Jane was on the other wing. Aaron Cruden was your first five. Yep, 5 penalties to his name. Only the one try scored in this game by the All Blacks, and that was to Conrad Smith as well, by the way.
Shit, he loved gliding through a gap.
Did he what?
Oh, my God.
Did he what?
Between him and Ben Smith.
Yeah.
Just like snakes.
Yes. Yeah, not like a massive step.
Nah.
They're not going to do you like one-on-one, but just the perfect angle.
Yep.
You find yourself out of place all the time. Aaron Cruden was your first five. Aaron Smith, of course, your halfback.
How many Smiths in this? Is this the most amount of Smiths in the New Zealand team?
3 Smiths.
Yeah. It's in the starting 15. Ian Smith obviously didn't make the team.
Didn't make the cut this year, no. But, no, yeah,
It's
it must
a lot
be.
of Smiths.
I can't think of a time we had 4 Smiths in our team. The loose forward trio is listed as Jerome Kano, Richie McCaw, Liam Messam.
Oy,
I feel like Jerome and Liam probably feels to me like they're around the wrong way. But anyway, that was your loose forward trio. And I was saying someone was saying the other day, we've been trying to replace Jerome Kano now for about a decade, haven't we?
Yes.
Haven't really found.
Well, we kind of
did.
We kind of did.
And a dear friend of ours,
Yes.
Shannon Frizzell.
Yes, but he decided to see out his days over in Japan.
Over in Toshiba.
Yeah.
Second in his NRL Fantasy League. But then since he's gone, looking at him, if he came back next year, he wouldn't be far off that jersey, would he?
No.
So Kano, McCaw, Messam. Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick were your second row.
The second row goats.
Yeah, powerful. Owen Franks, Dane Coles, Tony Woodcock were your front row.
That's a tidy, front eight.
Franks,
Coles,
pack. Woodcock, yeah, that is. Yeah.
The whole forward pack.
Yeah.
You got Kano, McCaw, Messam, Whitelock, Retallick, Franks, Coles, Woodcock.
This is sort of on the tail end of when we had the greatest forward pack of all time. All Black Centurion Kevin Mealamu finds himself on the bench. Croczilla's there with him, and Charlie Famoina was in there as well. Patrick Tuipilo to Evans Charlton was rounding out the Type 5 replacements. Victor Vito was on the bench. Have you seen the ads? Have you seen the Victor Vito
haven't
ads?
seen the
You
Victor
still haven't seen them?
No, I'll have to look them up.
It's a coffee brand, and they've basically gone that Old Spice. Remember the Old Spice ads? Look at your band. Look back at me. Sadly, he's not me. Blah, blah, blah. They're basically doing that. He's on a horse. He's shirtless.
I need to see it.
He's doing all of it. The recently injured TJ Pedonato was off the bench, as well as Bowden Beirut. And Malachi Fekitoa rounded out your bench for the All Blacks. Powerful team. A few different names in there that we haven't seen for a while.
Fekitoa, haven't heard that name for a while. He obviously went and plied his trade over in France quite early in his career.
Yeah, well, I think he basically got... he sort of... who's the other guy? There's Charlie Piatow. There's another guy, Laumapi.
Yeah.
There was all these guys who were just like, look, either you pick me in the All Blacks now or I'm just going to bugger off.
Lau Mapi delivered that greatest line after Hurricanes, man. He goes, to all those people who disrespected me, this one's for you, almost like, fuck you. And where everyone went, who disrespected him?
Who disrespected him?
And everyone was
coaches?
Everyone was looking around, the media, and we were commentating it. And after the game, he goes, McCanny, did you disrespect Lau Mapi because he's going to kill you? He goes, I didn't. I don't know who has.
I feel like everyone was like, yeah, he's mean.
Yeah, he was like a wrecking ball, man. He scored one try. I think that was after a game. He from 50 metres out, and he bowled about 4 or 5 guys over. And then he looked down the camera and was like, if you disrespect me, this is what you get. And I was like, whoa, okay. Someone flicked a switch.
Holy shit. But anyway, so he was another one of them that had to bounce.
That's a good team.
Yeah. Hall of Fame Snapchat game as well, Malachi Fekitoa.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I've seen evidence of that.
Veiny. Mike Brown was the fullback for England. Marlon Yard was on one wing. Manu Tuilangi, who back in the day I did a tour of the Cadbury factory in Dunedin with Manu Tuilangi.
Did you take it?
No, I didn't take it. I was just on it, and I didn't know who he was, but I was like, fuck, this dude's big.
Is this the guy who jumped off the ferry during the World Cup?
Oh.
Tuilangi?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Kyle Eastman was in there at second five. Left wing was Johnny May. First 5/8 was Freddie Burns, who you will remember from playing for the Highlanders just 2 years ago.
Yep.
Ben Youngs was the halfback. Ben Morgan, Chris Robshaw. James Haskell, there's a great podcast going at the moment over there in the UK. Jeff Parling, Joe Launchbury, very English names. David Wilson, Rob Webber, and Joe Marler, who I think is the only player from this team who's still in the team.
Yes.
Then we go through Joe Gray, Matt Mullen, Henry Thomas, Dave Atwood, Tom Johnson, Lee Dixon, aggressive spelling, D-I-C-K, son, and Danny Cipriani, who hit the headlines again last year when he put his book out, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He talked about all the rooting he used to do.
Yeah. Sounds like he got through a fair
shocking amount of rooting.
And Chris Pennell.
Only a few names only ones I recognise is Manu Tuolangi,
Freddie Burns.
Yeah, Freddie Burns, Ben Youngs, Haskell.
Obviously Joe Marler.
And Cipriani is about the only ones I recognise there. So they did pretty well to keep that pretty close.
They did, yeah. The All Blacks coach was, of course, Sir Steve Hansen. Yeah. The English coach was Stuart Lancaster. And the referee was Nigel Owens. And if you don't like that, don't play rugby. That's my best Nigel Owens.
That was, you got some work to do.
Sort of lost it to Tommy Shelby towards the end there. But anyway, that is the last time that England played New Zealand at Eden Park.
Yep.
It's a real fortress there. 30 years. That's 48 matches they haven't lost.
30 years they haven't lost at Eden Park.
Yeah, I know.
It gets to the point where you don't want to be the All Black team to lose.
Shit.
So the pressure must be like,
you wouldn't talk about it. Now, what happens when we inevitably
lose?
No, put a roof, like say we win, then we put a roof on Eden Park.
Is it still a fortress?
And then we lose? What happens then?
Do you restart the clock?
Do you take the roof off?
Literally.
There'll be plenty to discuss if that was to happen. All right, we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, yours please.
Yours please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
This is your chance to get involved in the show. Slag off whatever region of the country you would like to. If you're new to the show, how you do it is you get on the iHeartradio app in the bottom right-hand corner when you're playing a podcast. There's a little microphone button. You press that. You've got 30 seconds to send in your voicemail. I'll give you an example. Caller, yours please.
I get it, boys. I know lots of people have been talking about this Netflix movie with the sharks under Paris lately. But I've been watching a doco about the poo in Paris. They built a 13.4 billion gallon tank to take the rain overflow. But there's still a 50% chance we're going to get enough rain to flood the Seine with shit. Do you think we're going to be running this triathlon or not? Fuck South Canterbury.
Yeah, nice. I've read something about this as well. I think I read about the chances of rain through those months, that European summer, is pretty slim. Unless what happened to allegedly the Doha Games in the Middle East when it rained for 2 weeks solid during the Asian Games, and they blamed it on the Israeli cloud seeding.
They blamed it on the Israelis.
Yeah, it ruined the games. I've read about that. Like, I think they've cleaned it up. That's been in place for a couple of years now, that billion litre poo tank. Because they're slowly trying to clean the Seine up.
Vladimir Putank.
But I think some triathletes have said they've swum in shittier waters than that.
Mate, if you trained in Auckland, like, you'd be immune to it.
Yeah, totally. And I'd say that when they do the one in London where they swim through Canary Wharf and around there, that is full of shit.
Yeah, that's right.
So I reckon it'll be fine. I don't see it raining so hard.
Even if it does, I don't think they bin it, because you've trained for so long. This is the highlight of your career, your chance to win a gold medal. The poo's not going to stop your swimming. It won't even affect your time. You might die when you get out, but you'll die with a gold medal around your neck, and that's the way you want to go out.
Also, yeah, I mean, the sickness will hit you on probably the run.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You'll shit and vomit your way around the run, and you forever be an internet hero.
Yeah. I always talk about what's the biggest animal you could beat in a cage fight. And I reckon, short of an anaconda, I could beat any snake in a cage fight. And people say, but what if it's like, one of those real venomous ones? It's like, I'll put my hand out, it'll bite me, I'll crack it like a whip, it'll die, and I'll walk out of the cage victorious. As soon as I walk out of that cage, I die. But I walk out victorious. And that is how you've got to attack it if you're swimming up the Seine and it's full of poos. You should be like, look, I'm going to go septic once I leave this race, but I will go out on top. And I think that's. I don't think they stopped the event, is what I'm saying.
If I was an athlete that had no chance of being on the podium, I would do some sort of gag on the podium, come out with like a fake poo on my shoulder as I'm going into the cycle, just cover yourself in shit and just like be on the cycle, and then the cameras were like, what's going on here? Manaia Stewart seems to have got something on his shoulder.
Just shit all over.
Like just a melted picnic bar on your shoulders.
Yeah. But, the chances of them calling it off are very, very slim. Because then again, they're going to have to say oh yeah, there was poo in the water, and they'll never admit to that. So yeah, I think they'll run it. Another caller here, yours please.
Yeah, Brad Cooper from Te Puke. Look, I don't always get around to listening to the podcast. The day it comes out, so quite often I have the Thursday, Friday ones on the Monday. And look, what I've found is, Manaia, you're a shocking punt caller, mate. The more passionate you are, the more wrong you are too. This week saying, I genuinely think the Warriors are going to win. Look, so listening to these, after knowing the results, you begin to see the pattern, and it's pretty clear. If you go back, and I know you won't, you'll find it's a pretty shit hit rate. So if you're listening, just bet the reverse of Manaia's punts. Better odds, everyone.
I love the better odds. Hey, I tell you what, 10 out of 10 for clarity.
Yes.
No background noise.
That was a lights on.
Yeah,
voicemail.
that was a lights on. Yours please there, and quite valid actually, because
Well,
I mean you have your Warriors goggles on every time you're punting. So
that's not true at all. I fade them almost every week. I bet against the Warriors more often than anyone I know. I also fucking they lost by 1 point in golden points. You can't
Still
tell
lost.
me. Yeah, but you can't tell me like, oh fuck, your punts are way off. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, admittedly, I'm glad I didn't cop a stray on that, because my punts in the last few weeks have been shocking.
That's
as well.
right. But, you know, at least we have the balls to put those tips out there. And, you know, we'd all love to bet in hindsight, wouldn't we? I'd love to be able to listen to the podcast back on a Monday and then place my bets on the Thursday. But unfortunately, it's not how it goes. You're right, though, because there's no clearer evidence than looking at my own personal betting slip history. It's like, I know people who have just started getting into, you know, sports gambling.
Yeah.
And that because they always think, oh, fuck, I pick a try scorer every week. And it's like, yeah, because you say 3 names, one of them scores, you're like, see, picked it. It's a very different thing when you have to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I will continue with my shit tips.
That's what it should be called, shit tips.
Shit tips. And I actually would love, if that guy's listening to this, you should bet against every single one of my tips and see how you go. It would be quite funny to see if someone was just massively up. Another caller here, yours please.
Yeah, Brad Cooper from Te Puke.
he's back.
Hey, on the totally not at all fake prize giveaways to keep the misses off your back,
Yep.
to add to your audio, you should package together a prize winners pack that we can buy off your website. And it could be some basic merch, lanyard, hat, some simple shit, but also a generic letter or certificate. Say something like, congrats for winning the giveaway, keep an eye for ticks to be sent later, chuck some branding on there. I don't know, but it might help some of the boys get it over the line.
Oh, Brad Cooper, that is genius. That's genius, because I can just see it in my head. It's a lanyard with it just says VIP or the ACC logo on it.
Yeah.
And maybe a sticker, and then a letter that just details the prize and the weekend.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it comes in the mail and, oh, fuck, it's arrived. Wicked. Like 2 passes.
Yeah.
The letter, a couple of Steady the Ship hats.
You chuck those on, walk out the door on the Saturday morning.
Yeah, a little bit of fanfare.
Yeah.
And then you disappear to wherever you go with your mate, and then you return.
We have to really cover ourselves with the wording of this because...
Well, it's a trust thing.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't trust these people. I don't trust any of you.
Well, it's a trust thing, really. I mean, because we can't... I mean, maybe it's...
Because when we do the audio, we're like, all right, this is a bullshit prize. This is not real. You haven't won anything. Pause it now. Go and get your partner. Now play with this.
Well, look, we could just put...
Or him.
We could put terms and conditions on the back of the letter. You know, the tiny terms and conditions.
Yeah.
And in it says this is completely 100% fake.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the thing
you haven't
is,
won anything.
but you're just showing that letter to your they're not going to look
Yeah.
at the T's and C's on the back, are they?
No, God,
Because the last T and C should say the whole trip is null and void.
a sham.
It's an absolute sham.
You haven't won anything.
Yeah.
And also,
correct.
you owe us $500.
Yeah, correct. I can do it that way. So you can't nickel and dime us there, because the terms T's and C's says it's completely fake. But for all intents and purposes, the VIP passes, the hats, the letter, the congratulations letter, tickets to come. And look, you could buy that pack for $10 online, and we'll send it out.
Yeah.
It's just a generic pack. You tell us the dates, we'll send you the VIP passes and
Yes, we'll
the
write
hats.
we'll write it up for
Yeah.
you. Okay, all right. We'll work on that in the background.
It's like a whole deception range, because I still want to start the Phantom Cricket League, where it's just a competition that doesn't exist, and you have scores and everything, and you can tell your missus you scored 50, got 4 wickets, but it just doesn't exist.
What are the rules around selling stuff that doesn't exist?
Don't know.
Isn't that basically what the stock market is?
Yeah, isn't that NFTs?
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, well, we'll release some NFTs as well. That is a great idea. We'll start working on that, I think. Another call here. Last caller of the day, yours, please.
G'day lads, it's the old mate, the Mad Butcher. No, I'm just joking.
Ah,
Hey fellas,
I thought it
how's it going? Just a wee idea with the old shot clock shit show going on at the moment. So it's on the big screen, 60 seconds. Every 10 seconds that counts down, G Lane takes an item of clothing off on video on the big screen. And if it gets to 0, G Lane is pieced out in front of a packed out Eden Park. Kids and all. What do you think? Cheers lads. Fuck the Blues.
Geez, I tell you what, kickers will be certainly getting their kick over and done with fairly quickly.
Yeah. My only concern with this is who wins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you get humiliated publicly, which, would be enjoyable for a lot of people out there, but we also get punished.
But 10
publicly.
items. Is that one shoe, one sock,
No, you
one
said every
sock?
10 seconds, so it's a 60-second shot clock.
Yeah, so 6 items.
Yeah. How many items of clothing are you wearing right now?
Okay.
I'm going to say shoes and socks are 1 item each.
Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm nude. The belt? Is that part of the pants?
Nah, that's pants.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm nude.
That's like saying the laces aren't part of your shoes.
But the thing is, what I'd do there is if I did get roped into that for whatever reason,
Yeah.
it would be a one-time only because I would somehow summon up a rager, and then that would be the last time that ever happens because the difference between a nude man flaccid and a nude man hard is jail. So, so it'll be the first and last time that'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I still can't wrap my head around who wins in that situation.
No, there's no winners.
There is no winner.
There is
All
no
right,
winners.
thank you very much for those very creative feedback today on yours, please. Really appreciated that. I'm going to go start working on the fake prize packs that you can buy yourself right now, and we'll see you tomorrow for the ACC Sportsbook and another episode of the Agenda Podcast. Hooroo.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.